This fruit can transform your prostate, your desire, and even your heart. It may sound exaggerated, but science has already proven that pomegranate hides a secret and irreversible effect, and more than 3 million men have already discovered it. When consumed the right way, it can boost your performance, protect against prostate cancer, and revolutionize your cardiovascular health. I'm Dr. Ana Esperanza, a physician specializing in men's health, and today, I will reveal what almost no one dares to say about this natural secret. Type in the comments right now, "I want the pomegranate secret," if you have the courage to discover it. By the end of this video, you'll understand why even cardiologists and urologists are increasingly recommending this powerful natural method, and you may never look at this fruit the same way again. Now, take a moment to imagine your cardiovascular system as a vast network of highways. For years, decades even, every fatty meal, every cigarette, every sleepless night, every surge of stress has added invisible roadblocks to those highways. The blood that should flow like a smooth, crystal-clear river now crawls like bumper-to-bumper traffic on a suffocating, overheated highway. And one day, without warning, everything stops. A heart attack, a stroke, sudden death. But what if I told you there exists a fruit, overlooked and underestimated, that can widen those roads, reopen those blocked lanes, and restore the flow of life inside you? That fruit is pomegranate. And it is no ordinary fruit. It is ancient, mysterious, mentioned in sacred texts, revered by civilizations that believed it carried the key to immortality. Yet in today's world, its power is hidden, silenced, because it threatens to reveal what entire industries would rather keep buried. At the core of this fruit lies ellagic acid, a compound so potent it acts like an invisible architect inside your arteries. It relaxes vessel walls, expands their diameter, and allows blood to flow freely again. The result? More oxygen, more nutrients, more vitality reaching every cell of your body. Men who experience this effect describe it as if a switch had been flipped. Sudden strength, clearer focus, a body that feels younger, lighter, more alive. But with this gift comes danger. That same power, when pushed beyond balance, can drop blood pressure so sharply it leaves a man dizzy, weak, vulnerable. Cure and curse, side by side, in every sip, in every seed. Research from the University of California paints the picture clearly. Men who ate 1 medium pomegranate per day saw their total cholesterol drop by 21% in only 6 weeks, 21% in less than 2 months. Think about what that means. Years of plaque buildup, decades of silent damage, cut down by a fruit that costs less than a cup of coffee. And yet, have you ever seen a national campaign urging men to eat pomegranate daily? No. And that silence should make you uncomfortable. A larger study from Israel, following more than 800 participants over 3 years, revealed an even darker truth. Regular pomegranate consumption reduced the risk of cardiovascular disease by 31%, 31% fewer heart attacks, 31% fewer strokes, 31% fewer funerals caused by clogged arteries. Imagine this applied across populations. Millions of lives saved, billions in medical costs avoided. And still, you won't hear about it on the evening news. Why? Because you can't patent a pomegranate. Because billion-dollar pharmaceutical industries depend on pills, procedures, and endless treatments. A fruit that grows naturally, cheaply, abundantly, poses a threat to that empire. But don't think the heart is the only battlefield where pomegranate wages its war. Inside its blood-red chambers hides one of the most concentrated sources of antioxidants nature has ever created. 3 times more than red wine, twice as much as acai, more than many so-called superfood supplements sold at outrageous prices. These antioxidants, particularly punicalagins, act like an invisible army. Their mission: to fight free radicals, unstable molecules that slice through your cells like rusty blades, accelerating aging, weakening tissues, opening the door to cancer. Each fresh pomegranate is like molecular armor, a shield wrapping your body in 24-hour protection. And here's the cruel irony. The way most people consume pomegranate strips it of its true power. Industrial juice, bottled, pasteurized, neatly packaged. It looks healthy, but it is dead. The heat and processing destroy up to 80% of its bioactive compounds. What remains is a sweet liquid, pleasant to the tongue, but biologically hollow. like swapping a raw diamond for colored glass. The real secret lives only in the fresh fruit, intact, its seeds like crimson jewels, resembling frozen drops of blood. Coincidence? Or is nature trying to whisper a truth we've forgotten? Beyond heart protection and anti-aging, pomegranate also feeds another fortress, the immune system. One medium fruit provides around 35% of your daily vitamin C needs. But it doesn't stop there. Potassium, manganese, vitamin K, folate, fibers, all packed into its scarlet skin. Each plays a silent role. Folate building healthy new blood cells, vitamin K regulating clotting and strengthening bones, potassium keeping your heartbeat steady like a hidden metronome, manganese weaving collagen to repair tissues. Together they form a biological orchestra, a symphony written by evolution itself, designed to restore what time has stolen. Now picture this, a middle-aged man, tired, burdened by work, drained by stress. He decides to try pomegranate daily. Week 1, nothing dramatic, but he notices a spark of energy. Week 2, his sleep feels deeper, his mornings less heavy. By week 4, his skin looks different, firmer. His wife notices. By the 3rd month, his blood tests show lower cholesterol. His doctor is surprised. But something else happens. Dizzy spells, drops in pressure, moments of weakness. His body is shifting, rapidly, forcefully. The pomegranate has unlocked something powerful inside him. But power always carries a price. Because pomegranate doesn't just lower cholesterol. It prevents LDL oxidation, the process that turns bad cholesterol into lethal plaques. Without oxidation, no plaques form. Without plaques, arteries stay open. It's like diffusing a ticking time bomb inside your veins. But here's the haunting question. What else does it change? If it alters oxidation here, could it disrupt processes the body actually needs elsewhere? The truth is, no one fully knows. The line between healing and imbalance is razor thin. And then, there's the speed. That's what terrifies some researchers. Drugs take months, sometimes years, to show results. Pomegranate works in weeks. 2, 3, 6 weeks. Measurable changes. In a few months, undeniable effects. It's as if the body has been waiting for this trigger, as if the fruit unlocks dormant pathways. But what happens when you keep unlocking? When you keep pushing? What happens at the 5-year mark, the 10-year mark? No one can say for certain. So I ask you, is pomegranate truly a natural miracle? Or is it a double-edged weapon, a hidden tool of biohacking, a way to manipulate biology that feels more like forbidden knowledge than healthy living? Because this is just the beginning. The heart, the arteries, the immunity. These are only the first chapters. Pomegranate reaches deeper, more intimate, more dangerous, into places where its power collides with desire, masculinity, and the very essence of being a man. But that still doesn't explain why some specialists whisper about pomegranate as a blade sharpened on both sides. If up until now you believed pomegranate was just a fruit capable of unclogging arteries and strengthening immunity, you are mistaken. Its most controversial effect, its most whispered secret, lies not in the heart, but in the very essence of manhood. For hidden inside this fruit is a force that can awaken testosterone, revive desire, and alter male performance in ways that both thrill and terrify. Across several American universities, researchers confirmed what ancient legends hinted at. Men who consumed pomegranate regularly saw sharp increases in testosterone levels. No synthetic injections. No expensive hormone therapy. Just a fruit. Crimson, sweet, deceptive. The secret lies in nitric oxide. Pomegranate naturally elevates it, expanding blood vessels and triggering the Leydig cells, those tiny factories within the testes that produce testosterone. When those cells awaken, the effects ripple through the entire body. Energy spikes, muscles grow stronger, mood brightens, and libido surges. But disturbing questions follow, because hormones are not switches you flip without consequence. They are delicate signals, tuned by evolution to operate within razor-thin margins. To amplify testosterone unnaturally fast is like pouring gasoline on a fire. At first, the blaze is exhilarating, but left unchecked, it can consume everything. In Turkey, scientists conducted a study that revealed unsettling numbers. Men who drank pure pomegranate juice every day for 8 weeks saw an average increase of 24% in free testosterone. 24%. Imagine an aging man, weary and tired, suddenly flooded with that surge. His body feels renewed, His desire reignites. His strength returns. But with this gift comes imbalance. Blood pressure swings like a pendulum. Irritability rises. Dizziness and headaches creep in. Because the body doesn't evolve to change this fast. And when forced, it reacts violently. The impact on erectile function is equally dramatic. Nitric oxide relaxes the smooth muscles of blood vessels, increasing blood flow to every organ, including the most intimate one. A clinical trial, published in the International Journal of Impotence Research, found that 47% of men with mild to moderate erectile dysfunction improved significantly after 8 weeks of pomegranate use. Nearly half, results most pharmaceutical companies would kill for. But what about the other 53%? Why do some men remain unaffected, and why do others experience strange, sometimes dangerous side effects that never make it to the headlines? Here is where shadows gather. The official reports are silent, but in private circles, stories surface. Carlos was 58, a corporate executive, hardened by stress and years of overwork. His libido had faded. Erections were rare, weak, humiliating. His marriage strained under silence and shame. One day, he read about pomegranate, not in a medical paper, but in a men's health forum. The promises sounded divine: natural testosterone, youthful energy, the return of desire. Carlos was desperate, and desperation breeds recklessness. He ignored the cautious 1 pomegranate a day suggestion. Instead, he consumed 2, sometimes 3, every day. The first weeks felt miraculous. Carlos woke with energy he thought lost forever. His mornings began with desire. His wife noticed the change, his confidence, his renewed touch. He felt younger, hungrier, alive. He walked through the office like a man with a secret weapon coursing through his veins. But soon, the euphoria twisted. Carlos began feeling dizzy spells at odd hours. His heart raced without warning, beating erratically, like a trapped bird. Headaches stabbed his skull with sudden violence. Blood work revealed chaos. Testosterone levels far beyond expected ranges. Blood pressure unstable. Blood too thin. His body wasn't thriving. It was unraveling. The doctors filed his case away as an anomaly. No journal published it. No press release warned the public. But within private medical circles, whispers of the Carlos case circulate as a grim reminder. Pomegranate is not gentle. It is not a harmless snack. It is a wild force of biology, and like all wild forces, it demands respect, or it punishes without mercy. And Carlos was not alone. In hushed consultations, anonymous online confessions, and unrecorded files, other men speak of similar experiences. Men who celebrated renewed potency, but soon confessed to nosebleeds that wouldn't stop, fainting at night, arrhythmias lurking like silent assassins. The same fruit that widened arteries could, in excess, turn blood into a river too thin to clot. Why are these accounts absent from glossy health magazines? Because they shatter illusions. Because they prove that natural does not mean safe. And because if men learned the full truth, that a fruit can act as both medicine and poison, they might question everything else they're told to consume. The truth is simple and terrifying. Pomegranate sorts men into 3 invisible categories. Some thrive, reborn with energy, muscle, and desire. Others feel nothing, untouched, unchanged, their bodies indifferent. And then there are the unlucky ones, the cursed, men whose biology twists the gift into a curse, whose lives are shaken by side effects they never expected. And the cruelest part? You can't know which group you belong to until it's too late. Pomegranate has always been wrapped in symbols. Ancient texts painted it as fertility incarnate, the blood of gods, the fruit of eternity. Now we understand why. It is life and death, salvation and destruction, seed and blade. A double-edged sword waiting in plain sight. And testosterone and desire are not even its darkest secrets, because the fruit goes further, into the most vulnerable organ of them all, one that haunts the dreams of millions of men, the prostate. It is here, in this fragile chamber, that pomegranate reveals its most irreversible effect. And that effect is something most men are not ready to face. So far, you've seen how pomegranate can widen arteries like secret highways, awaken testosterone, and stir desire. But its most haunting effects lie deeper, in the prostate, in the brain, in the very process of aging itself. And here, silence reigns, because what pomegranate can do in these places is powerful and irreversible. The prostate, a small organ, no bigger than a walnut, yet the center of one of men's greatest fears, cancer. Millions face that diagnosis each year, and for many, it feels like a death sentence whispered in a sterile hospital room. But studies from the University of California in Los Angeles, UCLA, uncovered something extraordinary. Men with early-stage prostate cancer who consumed pomegranate regularly slowed the progression of their disease by up to 65%. 65%, as if the fruit had placed a hand on the clock of mortality and forced it to tick slower. Even PSA levels, the blood marker used to track prostate health, stabilized or even dropped. Imagine that, a fruit, cheap and accessible, reshaping the narrative of one of the deadliest diseases in men's health. But as always, there's a shadow. Because to tamper with cancer is to walk through a minefield. What if stopping tumor growth here triggers silent consequences elsewhere? The body is not a simple machine. Every intervention echoes, and sometimes those echoes grow louder than the initial disease. But pomegranate doesn't stop at the prostate. It penetrates even deeper, into the mind. Its polyphenols are among the rare compounds capable of crossing the blood-brain barrier, the fortress designed to protect neurons from intrusion. Very few molecules breach this line. That a fruit can do so is both miraculous and disturbing. Once inside, these compounds shield neurons from inflammation, block oxidative stress, and appear to protect memory. Studies show that regular pomegranate consumption improves concentration, enhances recall, and reduces the risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Picture it, a fruit preserving your identity, your memories, the essence of who you are. But then ask, if it can pass through the brain's fortress so easily, how can we be certain it only delivers protection? Every door, once opened, can let something else slip through. What might we be letting in without realizing it? And then, there is aging itself. Men chase creams, pills, surgeries to hold back time. But inside pomegranate lies a quieter promise. Rich in vitamin C, it fuels collagen production, tightening skin, smoothing wrinkles, strengthening hair. Men report after weeks of use that their skin looks firmer, their hair thicker. A promise of youth, not in a bottle, but in a fruit. Yet the question remains, are we simply pushing the inevitable further down the road, or are we setting ourselves up for a harsher collapse later? Because antioxidants don't just fight harmful oxidation. They fight oxidation, period. And not all oxidation is bad. Some processes, defenses against infection, cellular self-destruction to stop mutations, depend on it. What happens when you silence every spark, even the ones meant to protect you? The metabolism too comes under pomegranate's spell. Ursolic acid, a compound within, accelerates fat burning, transforming the body into a more efficient furnace. For the overweight, this sounds like salvation, easier weight loss, a natural metabolism booster. But metabolism is not a toy. Push it too hard, and the furnace overheats. What begins as slimming can become imbalance, hormonal strain, chronic fatigue, or silent organ stress. And then there's sleep. Pomegranate contains tryptophan, feeding the production of serotonin and melatonin, hormones that regulate the cycles of rest. Men consuming it regularly often describe deeper sleep, more energy in the morning. But interfering with sleep chemistry is not trivial. Too much, and melatonin floods the system, twisting dreams into nightmares, or leaving you groggy, unsteady, disoriented. The fruit that promised peaceful rest may, if consumed recklessly, turn the night into a battlefield. And beneath all of these promises lies a set of risks few dare to mention. Pomegranate interacts with anticoagulants like warfarin, amplifying their effects and raising the danger of uncontrollable bleeding. Men with low blood pressure can find themselves fainting, collapsing as circulation plummets. Those with a history of kidney stones risk worsening their condition, as oxalates within the fruit fuel crystal formation. Surgeons quietly advise patients to stop consuming pomegranate weeks before operations, for fear of dangerous blood loss. And yet, how often do you see these warnings on glossy wellness blogs or cheerful superfood videos? Almost never, because miracle fruit sells. Double-edged sword does not. What makes all this more sinister is the speed with which pomegranate works. 2 to 3 weeks, men notice energy, circulation. 6 to 8 weeks, hormonal shifts, prostate benefits. But what happens after 5 years? 10 years of daily consumption. Almost no data exists. The studies stop short. The long-term truth is buried, unpublished, or simply unknown. And that should terrify you, because we are playing with something we do not fully understand. So the question stands, is pomegranate a miracle gifted by nature to prolong life, or is it an illusion, a fruit so powerful it tempts us with health, only to lead us into imbalance, decline, perhaps even destruction? Doctors and cardiologists speak of it with cautious excitement. They see the results, but they also fear the unknown, because they know there is a line, a threshold, a hidden limit that separates healing from harm, and crossing that line may change your life forever. Now you know, pomegranate is not just a decorative fruit, not just an ancient symbol of fertility whispered about in myths. It is alive, charged with forces that can transform your body in ways few dare to imagine. It can open arteries like secret highways, shield your cells from aging, awaken your testosterone, restore your erections, protect your prostate, and even preserve your memory. But with all this power comes a shadow no one warns you about. The same pomegranate that improves circulation can drop your blood pressure dangerously low. The same that thins blood to prevent clots can push you toward hemorrhage. The same compounds that cross into your brain to protect neurons may, in excess, open doors that science does not yet know how to close. That is why I told you at the beginning, there is a hidden limit, a threshold, unseen but real, where pomegranate stops being ally and becomes enemy. Up to that line, it is an elixir. Beyond it, it is a slow, creeping poison. And what makes this truth even darker is that the limit is not the same for every man. For some, half a fruit a day awakens vitality. For others, one whole pomegranate is needed. And for some unlucky ones, the moment they cross the invisible line, the very gift becomes a curse. That is the irreversible effect, the instant the body changes course, and there is no turning back. So now you must ask yourself, would you dare to test how far pomegranate can go inside your body? Would you risk discovering if, for you, it is life's elixir or the start of collapse? Pomegranate is not simply food. It is an enigma, a biological code carved into blood-red seeds, passed down for millennia, a symbol of both life and death. And like all enigmas, it can save you or destroy you. The choice lies in your hands. Ignore this truth, live in illusion, letting time and disease steal what is yours. Or face it, look at this fruit with new eyes, aware of both its light and its shadow. But remember, the limit exists, and once you cross it, your life may never be the same again. If you've made it this far, type in the comments, "I discovered the pomegranate limit." That will be your mark of courage, proof that you didn't just listen, but confronted a truth others prefer to bury. And don't forget to subscribe, because in the coming weeks I'll reveal more secrets, truths the industry hides, revelations that could change your energy, your health, and the way you see your own body. Until then, remember this: pomegranate may be the key to vitality, or the beginning of something you will never undo.